I'm gonna do a quick little tutorial on how to get started for the cross stitch style for here. Just note that what I'm showing you here might not be the exact official way of doing it if you're gonna really get into cross stitching, but at least to get this project done, it shall do. So right here we have this giant plastic mesh, and you can see I cut off 10 by 51 squares, so like actual holes. In this demonstration I cut a smaller piece. So the very first thing you want to do is just clean up all of the edges. So if you've already cut something out before, you want to get rid of all these ends, so that you have clean edges all around. If you have tiny little stumps, might want to clean that up first, and then after that we'll do the next step. Now make sure you have some needles that are, the eyes are big enough for the yarn, but it's also small enough to go through the holes of these. So these are the ones that I have. My usual darning needles, they're much bigger. Don't know where they went, and those ones don't fit. So I'll take one, and then I can either thread it on and then just cut a comfortable length of yarn. So I usually do like arm's length, like both of like a wingspan, or you just go for like a meter. So I won't do too much for this, since it's just a demo, and then I'll cut it. Okay. So because you will be like pulling it all through, it's just a lot to pull through if you have too much. So to read the chart, I have the chart here. I'm working with the white, and I'm just gonna go normally in cross stitch. You might start in the middle, find some point, but here we can just go like across, and then whatever's comfortable. So whenever you see a square here, you see that there's actually only 9 columns, but the sizing that I told you to cut was 10 holes, and that's because each square here, the W stands for white, is actually an X. So it's actually gonna go from one, you're gonna go diagonal like this. All right, so I came out of the top left one, and then I went diagonal 1 to go back in. Okay, and then the one thing you want to make sure is you always do one direction first, and then the other direction after on top, so that it's always overlaying the same way. So I'm just gonna pull through until I have like a solid tail, and my tail's gonna be in the back, so as I work over it, it will be covered. It'll be harder to tighten, so it's good to shorten it now, or if you leave it longer, you can just like trim it off after, whatever's still visible and doesn't get hidden. Whatever's easier for you to manage. So usually if the entire row is the same color, you can do all of the same direction first. So I'm gonna do all of the diagonal slants from top left to bottom right all at once. So this, make sure you do like even tension, same as when you're crocheting. You don't want some super tight and some looser, especially when we're using like the entire yarn. And just make sure in the back, I'm going under the back yarn and then over. So you can see I'm covering that little tail as I go. Okay. Don't know if you can actually see this. Okay. It's really focusing on the paper. There we go. Maybe I'll move this. Okay. So now you can really see this. Alright, so now I'm doing my last diagonal, and I pull out, and as you can see, I have my little tail sticking out here. That's fine, I'll handle that in a second. Now I'm gonna go backwards in the same row, so I just go straight up into the top right one, and then I just do the other diagonal backwards. Alright, it starts to get a little more confusing as you get more stitches on here, but you see, so that's one X. And then I have one here, and I just do that the entire way back. Okay, this. All right, so I'm just gonna work those last 2 stitches now, going straight up, diagonal left, and my last stitch. So because the yarn is kind of thick, it's actually kind of hard to see the X's, but it is right, you do have X's there. Look really, really close. Okay, so now the next row, because this is all white again, so that's gonna be pretty easy. I'm putting absolutely nothing, all whites again. What you wanna make sure is you go into the same holes as that row. So we're gonna be working between the second and the third row here. So, and because normally we wanna do the diagonal, is it focusing? The diagonal from here to here, but because we just went in here, if we come back out, it's gonna undo it. So for this stitch, I'm actually just gonna fake the diagonal from behind. So I'm gonna go from here, the second one in the bottom row. So I came under, and then I'm gonna do the diagonal top. So now I have worked it so that I still have this diagonal in this direction, and then I can work sideways and then continue my diagonals downwards, down to the right. So this is one of the techniques where I really don't think some of the cross stitchers, when you look at the back, they all have like vertical lines. So when I work sideways, I don't get that vertical line. And you know, it just doesn't look as pretty, but to really just cover the whole canvas, I think it's okay. So that's essentially it. And you just keep going. So once you get to one of the rows, let's say here, you will make some decisions. So you can either work all the diagonals like this in row 28. When you come back and do the backwards, then you work down in row 29 and then go backwards and then work back up. Or you just like do these ones and then start a new strand here. That's what I mean by mine is not as clean. As you can see, there's a lot of jumping around just to fill in. This is the back side. So see here on the front side, it looks good. Good enough. But on the back side, you're gonna see all my random jumping around just to try to get a clean jump. That's where I don't have a lot of advice on, but you can see that like in the back, a lot of them should end up being vertical if you do it properly. And then some of my ends are sticking out, so I should actually do a better trim. So now I'm going back in the second row again, and this is where it starts getting tricky again. You want to make sure you're going diagonal, and then you go straight up in that same hole that now it's like the fourth time you're poking through it to get that. Okay, and then you just go back and forth. So then now I can do this cleanup. You can just, you know, pull it clean. It should be good. Nope, still a little bit. Because it went under so many loops, I think it's fine enough. But yeah. One other thing is right now we are just filling all of the holes in this canvas, and then later on in my crochet pattern we will be going around all the edges. So you'll just be going up, out one, loop around, come out the next one, all in the same direction, all around. And then obviously you're gonna go from here to here, goes up here, around, back down, and then you switch to the red. And then the red, make sure at the bottom, because there's still like a little wavy tail here, I put a toothpick in between just to make the loops bigger so my hook will fit in, but you can use anything else that you see fit. I think that's all the tips for cross stitching that I can think of. So good luck.